Now, basically DMVPN have 3 phases, and basically these phases are like some of the changes done to the existing DMVPN methods. Like when they started, let's say we have started with the DMVPN. So initially phase 1 was used. So later on due to some changes in the tunnel configurations, as well as some of the features and the scalability being added, and also the behavior is changed in the phase 2. And then again there is a phase 3, which is something we'll be using in today's networks. So in terms of phase 1 and phase 2, we can say they are obsolete, not used in today's networks. We'll be using only the phase 3 in general. But at the end, you need to understand the phase 1 and the phase 2 in order to understand the phase 3 as well. So that's the reason we'll be seeing the differences in the phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3 along with the configurations. So let me just come down to understand the differences between the phase 1 and the phase 2. So let's take an example. I got 2 topologies. So this topology represents the phase 1, the second one represents the phase 2. Now phase 3 is almost like a phase 2, so I'll be talking more on phase 3 once we are done with the phase 2 complete discussion and the configurations. So starting with the phase 1. Now in phase 1 we'll be using multi-point GRE on the hub, and we'll be using GRE on the spokes. So we're not using multi-point GRE, we'll be using GRE here. But whereas in case of phase 2, we'll be using multi-point GRE everywhere. So I'll be using multi-point GRE on the hub routers as well as on the spokes. Now this is the one main difference between the phase 1 and phase 2. So in terms of tunnel configurations, we'll be using GRE here on the spokes in the phase 1 and multi-point GRE on the hub, whereas here it will be multi-point GRE everywhere. So this is one major difference. Now what happens because of this? So because of this, we will be building a multi-point tunnel from hub to spokes, because we are using multi-point GRE here. But whereas from the spoke, we'll have only tunnel established with the hub. So there will be a tunnel established only with the hub, but there is no spoke to spoke tunnels. So which means we don't have any tunnels established between spoke to spoke. So all the traffic will be going via hub. Like hub is like a centralized router where all the traffic flow will be going only through the hub. So there is no direct communication between spoke to spoke. There is no direct neighborship, or there is no tunnel established between spoke to spokes. So if you see the other scenario here, we'll be using multi-point GRE everywhere, which means it allows you to have a point-to-multipoint tunnels established from hub to spokes. At the same time, we can also have a tunnel established from spoke to spokes, a full mesh. Likewise, I can have a tunnel established from basically to all the endpoints. We can have a full mesh tunnels can be established in the phase 2. So in terms of tunnel configuration, this is one of the major difference between the phase 1 and the phase 2. So this is the main difference between these two. So if I just quickly go in with the phase 1 first, starting with the phase 1. Now in terms of phase 1, as I said, we'll be having spoke to spoke GRE tunnels cannot be built. So which means we'll be having a tunnel only from hub to spoke, but not spoke to spokes, because the reason is we are using GRE in the phase 1. So we'll have a point-to-point GRE interfaces on the spokes, which means here you will have a point-to-point only because the GRE supports only point-to-point. So all the data plane traffic will be going through the hub, which means any communication which is from one spoke to another spoke always go via hub. So hub is like a centralized device from where all the traffic flows. So if you want to make mandatory that all the traffic should go via hub, so basically we go with the phase 1. So the role of NHRP is still the same. NHRP is responsible for dynamically building the tunnels or dynamically identifying the peers. So it will allow you to have hub to spoke tunnels as well as spoke to hub tunnels, but there is no spoke to spoke tunnels established here. So the routing point of view, all the traffic goes via hub, as already explained. So one of the advantage with the phase 1 is, as all the traffic is going via hub, and for all the spokes the next hop will be hub router, that is router 1. So there is a chance of summarization, or the default routes can be configured on the probably you can configure pointing towards the hub. So we can just have a default routes that will minimize, or we can just have some kind of summarized routes. You can also summarize the routes basically. So that will minimize the routing table size, especially on the spokes, because anyway to reach all the routes you have to go via hub router, right? So basically you can just have a simple default route instead of maintaining individual routes in the routing table. So that is one of the advantage we get in the phase 1, but you don't have spoke to spoke tunnels established in the phase 1. So if you want to establish spoke to spoke tunnels, so you will be going with a phase 2. So in the phase 2 we'll have a spoke to spoke tunnels, which means the tunnels are like full mesh from every spoke to other spoke as well as to the hub. So the data plane traffic, the traffic will go may go spoke to spoke directly, but initially the traffic flow from the hub, later on it will fall back to the directly spoke to spoke. So you always need to remember the spokes communications initially goes via hub, and once the tunnel is established it will go directly between spoke to spoke. So the advantage is you don't need to go always via hub. So there is a direct communication can happen between spoke to spoke, as there is a tunnel established between spoke 1, that is router 2 to router 3 here. So the NHRP role is still the same, to build the tunnels. Additionally, it is going to build the tunnel between spoke to spoke. And the routing point of view, if you see the difference, the routing, hubs still preserves the next hop. So basically all the spokes will have the next hop of the hub prefixes. For all the prefixes which are coming from the hub, the next hop will be the hub only. And for all the prefixes coming from the spoke, the next hop will be the spoke only. So which means all the routes coming from the router 2, you will have a next hop of the router 2. And all the routes coming from the router 1, you will have a next hop of the router 1. And all the routes coming from the router 4, you will have a next hop of router 4. Because we do have a tunnel established, and the route exchange happens directly between spoke to spoke. But at the end, initially the route exchange, the tunnel establishment should take place via hub. So that's what I said, initial traffic flow will go through the hub, later on it will fall back to the spoke to spoke directly. But one of the limitation what you will see here is the summarization or the default routing is not allowed, because on the router 3 all the routes coming from the router 2 will have the next hop of router 2, and all the routes coming from the router 4 will have a next hop of the router 4. So basically the routes are not coming from one point, unlike in the, if you remember in the phase 1, all the route exchange is only from phase 1, because there is no tunnel establishment between spoke to spoke. So basically that summarization or optimization of the routing or the routing tables with summarization or the default routes is not possible in the phase 2. So that is one kind of limitation you will see in the phase 2. And if you compare the phase 1, the advantage of the phase 1 is the summarization or the default routing is something possible. So this is kind of advantage, but the drawback is you don't have a spoke to spoke tunnels. But whereas in the phase 2 we can have a spoke to spoke tunnels can be established, but the summarization or the default routing, optimizing the routing is not possible. So the phase 3 is like a combination of these two. So phase 3 gives the benefits of both the phase 1 and the phase 2. So in the phase 3, I'll be talking more on phase 3. It is exactly equivalent to phase 2 in terms of configurations, almost, except 1 or 2 commands. But whereas in the phase 3 we still can have dynamic tunnels established between the spoke to spoke. At the same time we can ensure that the traffic goes via hub, means the route exchange goes via hub, we can say, but you can still have a direct communication between spoke to spoke using some NHRP redirect messages. So I'll be talking more on that when we get into the phase 3 implementation and the configurations.